your deluded mind thinks that that's real. I want to talk about how to improve your life by 10x, why self-help doesn't work, and how to escape the matrix. My name is Peter. I'm one of the creators of Time Alchemy, and I'm talking about how to get what you want fast by knowing who you are. That's the fundamental idea behind this video. First, let's play a little game. Answering these questions, I'm going to show them on the screen, and then we're gonna grade it together. If you need to pause to think about each of these questions, you're welcome to do it. Just play along with me, and I'll explain why in a second. First, what word describes you best? A, talkative. B, kind. C, anxious. D, efficient. E, imaginative. Next, how would your best friend describe you? A, enthusiastic. B, cooperative. C, worrisome. D, organized. E, creative. Pick the activity that most sounds like something you would do. A, plan a party. B, donate to charity. C, share a problem with a close friend. D, make a schedule for the week. E, create a piece of art. 4, which adage would you live by? A, spend time with friends. B, care for people in need. C, safety first. D, do your duty. E, beauty will save the world. 5, if you had to admit your biggest fault, what would it be? A, dominate conversations. B, let people take advantage of you. C, you worry too much. D, you're a perfectionist. Or E, you're scatterbrained. And finally, when faced with a problem, you tend to approach it A, energetically. B, cooperatively. C, nervously. D, dependably. And E, curiously. Okay. Now what I want you to do is go back and look at your answers. I know we breezed through that, but you're welcome to go back and pause, think about each one before you grade this, and look at what letter comes up the most. If you answered mostly A, that means you're mostly extroverted. Answered mostly B, that means you're mostly agreeable. If you answered mostly C, that means you're mostly neurotic. And if you answered mostly D, it means you're mostly conscientious. And if you answered mostly E, it means you're mostly high in openness, or you're open. Okay, what do each of these mean? So extroverted means that you're very assertive, enthusiastic, you're the life of the party. Agreeable means you're a great friend, you often put others' needs in front of yourself. Neurotic, I think you probably know what that means. You typically feel more anxiety than the average bear, you worry about things a lot. If you answered mostly conscientious, right, D, that means you're very organized and reliable. And if you answered E, high in openness, that means that you think outside of the box, you're likely highly creative. Now, of course, this is a very quick 6-question, just figuring out what do you lean towards, which one shows up the most when you're going through one of these quick quizzes. And these are fun, by the way. You can bring these to your friends and start to figure out, oh, are they highly extroverted? Are they highly agreeable? Are they highly neurotic? A lot of people these days are neurotic. This is just a demonstration of something much deeper, which is, in order to make your life better, you have to know who you're making it better for. Who is this person? Now, at the fundamental level, science has shown and philosophy has debated, it's likely that there is no self in there. This idea of you, that you're walking around and you're a person and you're this thing that you express in the world, well, actually, that's an illusion. But it's a useful illusion that helps us navigate this world, so let's act as though this illusion matters and it's real, right? You are the aggregation of your thoughts and feelings, right? Your thoughts and feelings, which lead to your behavior from your history, from your genetics, from your memories, from everything that you've done up until now. You are the aggregation of all of these things in this moment that make you make decisions. All of this potential happening in a moment, making decisions constantly, or doing things. And when you do things thoughtlessly, without awareness of this this flux of preferences, let's just say, then you're going to be doing them very reactionarily, meaning you're going to be reactive instead of thoughtful about your behavior. So in order, just to right off the bat, to increase your life's quality by 10x, here's the practice that you can do. You don't need to go take a full personality assessment. You're welcome to do that. We've got one. I think it's in the description, or find one. You can Google 5-factor model and do a personality assessment to get really detailed information. But here's what you can do to know thyself better, to improve your life by 10x. I swear, I promise. It's to write down what you value. Write down what you value, and then write down your behavior next to your values in some way to look at, are my activities aligning with my values? If you journal about your values and the activities that you're doing in a given day, every day, I promise you what will start to happen is your activities will align with your values. And your values tend to be upstream. They're before your desires. Your values are like, I care about family. Well, your desire would then lead to a goal, which is like, I want to be around my family. My goal is to spend more time with family, right? This foundational layer is value, and before values is personality. That's what we're talking about. Big, long, boring word. It's that thing that we try to get out of people on dates, right? No, that's just preferences and likes. Personality is something more foundational. Personality is the aggregation of our genetics, our life experience, our preferences, our thoughts, and our feelings, all into this one thing that we can get an approximation of that allows us to figure out how we navigate the world. That is personality. And that's what we just explored. Extroverted, agreeable, neurotic, conscientious, and open. Those are the 5 factors of personality. That's the model we use to help people figure out who they are. Now that brings us to the next point. Why does most self-help not work? Most self-help doesn't work because it's the author's personality that has created solutions to problems that the author has faced that they are then prescribing or giving to people and saying, this will work for you because it worked for me. And often it comes with the expectation of discipline as the engine to do the thing the author wants you to do. Lots of these authors will write books or make apps or make courses, and they'll say, this is how you can get success. This is how you can get more money. The problem with them is they're not catered to you. They're catered to the author, and they're prescriptive, one size fits all. What we propose to improve these things is to understand yourself better. Know who you are first. And we have a system for how you can understand yourself better. It starts with this personality thing. It starts with writing your values. It starts with writing your values in your activities and doing these audits of your time and stuff like that. If you're interested in our method, of course, there's probably links somewhere, but I'm not even talking about that right now. I'm talking to you right now about basically focusing on the truth that you already know about yourself in order to validate the external world's information that you're receiving, rather than trying to value yourself and validate yourself externally first. I'm going to go read this book and that's going to give me value. I'm going to watch this video and that will tell me who I am. No, you look at your own behavior, you look at your own behavioral profile, you look at your own personality. In any means, I mean, there's lots of personality assessments, but that is the place to start. So point number 1, improve your life by understanding your values and your activities. Point number 2 is know who's doing those activities. Point number 3, escaping the matrix. When you start to look at the world through this lens of personality, you'll start to realize that people act largely out of a few different categories, but I aggregate these into 3. Greed, desire basically, anger and fear, aversion, and delusion. These are 3 things that people will do, and when you start to notice them and where they appear in your personality, in your life, you can start to have awareness about the stuff that you weren't aware before. Like, why would somebody hire me over someone else? Why would this person that I'm really attracted to pick me over someone they could date? Why would I be better at sales than the next salesman along the way? And this is where you're escaping the matrix. It's recognizing that everything is driven by greed or desire, anger, fear, aversion, and delusion. People make fantasies in their mind about what they want or what they're afraid of. And the deluded part is believing, before they've tested out in the world whether or not these things are real, believing they're real. So people are operating, and I was operating in this, and many of us are, in what I'm calling the matrix. It's this belief that the desires and the fears in your mind that you're actually actively projecting onto reality, your deluded mind thinks that that's real. Meaning, I want to be jacked, so I am jacked. I'm afraid of driving, so I don't drive, right? I want to be good at my job, therefore I must be good at my job. This gap, right? This gap between what is and what you are unconsciously acting as if it is, this gap is bigger than you think. And in order to escape the matrix, if you take your values and your activities, and you take your personality or some approximation of it, who you are based on what you actually do, you put these together and you look at what you want, what you don't want, and what you think you are, this cocktail will come together and allow you to see that which you have not seen yet, and you can escape the matrix. So good luck with that.